Argument 2. School may be the only forum for students to deal with their grief. When dealing with loss, children look to adults to recognise their grief and provide them with the support they need. Whilst parents or family members may be the prime choice for support of bereaved children, this is not always a viable option. When dealing with a family death, relocation, or divorce, parents and other family members may be coping with their own grief, which limits their ability to offer adequate support to the child. Schools, on the other hand, can offer a sense of community for children outside of the family unit. Kenneth Doka states that school becomes a major foundation of support for youngsters when they face critical loss. The school becomes the setting within which children need to have the freedom to experience and harmonise their emotions. It is therefore essential that teachers are able to identify students who have been affected by loss and are equipped with the skills and knowledge to support children through periods of grief. Resources, including teacher reference books, websites, and picture books, are readily available to support teachers in dealing with bereavement. However, it is vital first and foremost that schools simply provide an outlet for students to discuss their grief in a safe environment, as whilst discussing loss, particularly death, can be a difficult subject to approach. Avoidance on part of the teacher can be detrimental for student well-being.
Counter-argument. School is a place of academic learning with an already overcrowded curriculum. Should the grieving of one student be allowed to interrupt the learning of all?
To this, we would argue that the Australian Curriculum Health strand promotes discussion of such emotional issues, such as the Level 3 and 4 content descriptor stating students will explore strategies to manage physical, social and emotional change. This suggests that schools not only have a moral obligation to ensure students are prepared to discuss grief and other emotional changes, but a government-mandated responsibility as built into the curriculum.
Argument 3. Avoiding sad topics may lead students to believe that their feelings are unimportant. Whilst grief and loss are often considered taboo subjects, acknowledging a child's emotional well-being in regards to such issues affords them the belief that their feelings are valid. Discussion also allows children the freedom to believe that the person or situation that they are mourning is important. Grief that goes unacknowledged is described by Kenneth Doka as disenfranchised grief, in which the relationship, loss, griever or circumstances of the student's grief are not recognised, or the expressions of grief are not socially accepted. The consequences of disenfranchised grief are demonstrated in the following anonymous case study, also recorded by Kenneth Doka. A 13-year-old student, let's call him Sam, experienced the death of his father. Sam stated that, "My teacher was acting like it doesn't hurt when a family member gets killed." As his teacher's refusal to recognise Sam's grief continued, Sam's behaviour became increasingly erratic and aggressive. This led to Sam being continually reprimanded and detained after school. Sam eventually changed schools, such was his discomfort with his teacher. Would this have happened if his teacher was willing to talk about the death of his father in a way that sanctioned Sam's right to grieve? Would Sam's attitude be more favourable? What we can learn from Sam and Kenneth Doka is that discussion of sad topics facilitates a child's right to grieve.
Counter-argument. Teachers may rationalise avoidance of sad topics by claiming they are protecting students from the emotional trauma of having to relive their loss.
Rebuttal. However, this behaviour can lead students not only to believe their feelings are unimportant, but, as established by Richard Woolley, can lead children to sense the falsehood in ignoring the loss, as though mourning were not a natural process. This can detract from the relationship between student and teacher, and in turn, with school in general, leading to disengagement and hindering academic performance.
In conclusion, we can determine that schools are a place of learning, not just of academic knowledge and skills, but of social and emotional learning, including the development of the ability to deal with grief. It is the responsibility of teachers to ensure that their students' well-being is not hindered by an inability to discuss sad topics. As noted by Kenneth Doka, schools can and must play a critical role in the mourning process. We often forget the significant role that schools play in the life of students. They offer the possibility of informal and formal support to a child struggling with grief and loss. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.